Abu Dhabi, 7th of December 2025. 3 drivers, 1 championship, and just 2 points separating glory from heartbreak. Max Verstappen sits on pole needing to win and hopes that Norris will fail, while Lando Norris starts second needing just 3rd place to become world champion. And Oscar Piastri lines up 3rd with his title hopes hanging by a thread. 58 laps to decide everything. Now this shouldn't have happened. Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari dream became a nightmare. McLaren's teammates nearly destroyed each other. 4 teams could win on any given Sunday, and every championship contender was torn between fighting today and surviving tomorrow's regulation reset. This is why 2025 became the most brutal season that F1 has seen in a generation. The grid that changed everything. To understand why 2025 was so savage, you need to see just how much changed between seasons, because only 2 teams kept their driver lineups unchanged, and that was McLaren and Aston Martin, while everyone else went through complete upheaval. Lewis Hamilton left Mercedes after 12 years to chase his 8th title at Ferrari. Carlos Sainz moved to Williams, and 6 rookies made their full season debuts, from Kimi Antonelli at Mercedes to Gabriel Bartoletto at Sauber. Sergio Perez was dropped by Red Bull and replaced by Liam Lawson, who himself got demoted after just 2 races when Yuki Tsunoda took his seat. This was a complete grid reset at the worst possible time, because McLaren had won the 2024 Constructors' Championship by just 14 points over Ferrari, which meant that everyone knew 2025 would be tight. But nobody predicted the title would come down to 3 drivers with just 16 points covering the top 3 heading into the finale. And the chaos started right where nobody expected it. Hamilton's Ferrari dream. February of 2024, Lewis Hamilton announces that he's going to be joining Ferrari for 2025, and the motorsport world stops because a 7-time world champion in Ferrari Red, chasing that elusive 8th title. It was supposed to be poetry. Instead, it became the most painful season of Hamilton's career. 0 Grand Prix podiums in 24 races, making him the first Ferrari driver in 44 years to complete a season without a Sunday podium. He won a sprint race in China, which gave everyone hope. Then watched it evaporate as Leclerc dominated him in qualifying, and Hamilton, he sat 6th in the championship, 73 points behind his teammate, who took 5th with 7 podiums. The SF25 was unpredictable and it was vicious, and while Leclerc could tame it, Hamilton, he couldn't. He said, "I'm useless."
I'm just useless. Say again? I'm just useless.
He told Sky Sports after Hungary qualifying. And in Las Vegas, where he started from last place, he called it the worst season ever. The man with 105 career wins was eliminated in Q1 for 3 consecutive races to end the season, while Ferrari chairman John Elkman publicly told both drivers to focus on driving and to talk less after Brazil's double DNF. Ferrari's championship hopes died before spring even ended. While Ferrari imploded, the real battle was brewing at the front. The 3-way war. It was March. Lando Norris led the championship, but by April, Oscar Piastri had taken over, and by November, Norris, he fought back while Max Verstappen refused to surrender through it all. The 2025 championship went down to the final race, with 3 drivers mathematically still alive. Norris on 408 points, Verstappen on 396, and Piastri on 392. McLaren should have been celebrating, but instead they nearly self-destructed when Norris clumsily drove into the back of Piastri's car at Montreal, eliminating his teammate and creating tension that defined their season. Team orders, strategy conflicts, and race battles between both drivers who were capable of winning but refused to yield. Meanwhile, Verstappen mounted one of the great championship fightbacks after Red Bull's pace faded and the RB21 became just another car in the pack. The Mexican and Sao Paulo Grand Prix showcased Max at his absolute limit, dragging that Red Bull where it had no business being. Abu Dhabi brought it all together. Verstappen on pole needing everything to go right. Norris needing just third. Piastri passed his teammate on lap 1. Tsunoda defended desperately, forcing Norris off the track. And Leclerc, he hunted Norris in the final stint, making the pressure suffocating. Norris, he held third, 2 points. Norris on 423, Verstappen on 421, and Piastri on 410. The final tally made it even more painful. Verstappen took 8 victories, more than anyone else on the grid. Norris and Piastri split 14 wins between them with 7 each, while George Russell grabbed 2 for Mercedes. McLaren secured the Constructors' Championship, but the cruelest detail was this: the driver with the most wins didn't become world champion. Verstappen's 8 victories couldn't overcome Norris's consistency, and that 2-point margin proved that in 2025, winning races just wasn't enough. But this battle was about more than just 3 drivers. When everyone can win, nobody feels safe. May of 2024, Max Verstappen dominates. Red Bull is untouchable and everyone else fights for scraps. Then May of 2025, Mercedes wins races, Williams are battling Ferraris for points, and the hierarchy shatters completely. This is what made 2025 so savage. In dominant eras, you lose because your car isn't fast enough. But in 2025, you lose because you made one tiny mistake, and 8 other teams were right there to capitalize. Qualifying margins were measured in the thousandths, and Norris and Piastri were separated by just 8 thousandths of a second in their qualifying average. Canada crystallized everything. Norris closing on Piastri for 4th, then contact, and 12 points evaporated in one moment. Verstappen dominated Austin for one weekend. Then back to chaos. Hamilton was disqualified in China. Leclerc lost Hungary to a late mistake. And through 24 races, every driver knew that 8 other teams were fast enough to punish their mistakes. No one felt safe, and that relentless pressure made 2025 the toughest battle these drivers had ever fought. Speaking of relentless battles and the stories behind them, 2025 proved that F1 is more than just the fastest car out there. It's about 3 drivers separated by 2 points, rookies rewriting expectations, legends struggling against reality, and teams making impossible choices under crushing pressure. If you want to understand the rivalries, the personalities, and the untold stories that makes F1 this compelling, then subscribe to The Last Lap. We break down what really happened when the cameras weren't looking. Hit the bell icon so you never miss another upload and another deep dive into all the drama that defines the sport that we love. But right now, let's talk about the 2026 trap. Here's the secret story of 2025. Nobody really wanted to win it this badly. 2026 brings completely new regulations, the biggest technical resets since 2014. History teaches brutal lessons because Braun GP dominated 2009 because Honda gave up on 2008 early to focus on the new rules. So imagine you're a top team in the summer of 2025 fighting for a championship worth tens of millions, but every resource that you pour into this season is a resource you're not spending on 2025, when the entire sport actually resets. Do you commit everything now? Do you risk being left behind? Or do you sacrifice the championship and bet on the future? Ferrari, they couldn't stop fighting. Mercedes tried balancing both, and Red Bull had to choose whether Verstappen's championship bid was worth sacrificing their future for. The result was every team fighting at 90% while holding back just enough to protect their future, which made the championship battle more unpredictable and brutal than anyone actually expected. 3 drivers separated by 2 points. Ferrari's dream becoming a complete nightmare. Red Bull's dominance ending, McLaren's teammates nearly destroying each other, and every team torn between fighting today and surviving tomorrow. That 2-point margin between Norris and Verstappen proved that in modern F1, the margins between glory and heartbreak have never been thinner. So, would you rather win the 2025 championship and risk falling behind in 2026? Or sacrifice this season to dominate the next season? And if you're McLaren, do you prioritize Norris or Piastri when both can actually win the title? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.